Hey, I still did. Whoa.
Oh, he didn't do it. I thought he was gonna cuss. Well, last time.
No, it took me a few minutes last time.
It's like Minority Report. You're just like you're being aimed at for the crime you will commit.
Yeah, but you don't even know that you're gonna commit one yet.
Yeah.
There's so many ethical ramifications with the Minority Report. I did enjoy that movie, but
yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah,
well, that's why everyone runs, because of all the ethics.
But they already knew they were going to run, therefore they're already in trouble for running before they ran.
Yeah, I know. That's why Tom Cruise said it to the other dude. He was just like, everyone runs. And then he just ran. Like, literally.
I don't run. Look at me.
Yeah.
This is not a runner's body.
I don't know, though. Maybe you will run in the future. And then...
I feel like the cops were like, we'll just give him a head start. He needs it.
Yeah, if you got pre-convicted for, like, in pre-crime.
I
think that goes for all of us. It's like, oh, he has a heart problem. It's not like he's going to get far. We'll give him a day.
I don't think I'm going to finish off the Centauri until, like, next week, but that's fine. Week 16. Is there some sort of, like, I mean, that's 4 months, right?
Oh, yeah.
4
Cheers.
months.
It's 4 months.
Yay!
Cheers.
It's like a new relationship when you're like, this is our 44-day anniversary.
Yeah.
It's like such an arbitrary number.
Then you get married and it's just like, oh, it's this week, huh? Oops, whatever.
My bad,
No,
babe.
anyone that's been in a relationship long enough knows, like, there's the whole, okay, it's the anniversary of when we met, the anniversary of when we first dated, the anniversary of when we proposed, the anniversary of when we got married,
Yeah, but
the
like-
anniversary of the divorce.
But
I mean,
I guess it depends on the couple, too. Because, like, I know couples that, like,
I
don't
how
even-
Nick looked like, oh.
That's like
they know the dates, but they don't care about them. They don't do anything on those dates.
Yeah,
and then
I
some
feel-
couples celebrate, like, they're, like, 10 years married and they're still doing, like, oh, it's our 50... 100th week
50,
or whatever.
30, 100th?
I don't know. I'm
I
drinking.
feel like the major ones are like when you first start dating and then your anniversary, like when you got married.
You have much to learn, Grasshopper.
Oh, never mind. That's not where you're going? I thought you were going in sync.
I forgot to tweet out that. I forgot to even tweet that it was RTFM show day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the weird ones would know without having
We
to
forgot.
tweet.
We also
I
forgot
know.
to, like...
If you're here right now, you're OG. You're cool. You're cool. You're cool.
Oh, yeah, I
you're
gotta do-
cool.
I gotta do
F
that.
you. You're cool.
Isn't
Screw
this
you.
the
You're
Korean-
all right.
This is the K-pop heart or whatever. I just did a regular one.
What?
I don't know.
I don't know what you're doing.
I'm drinking.
You just started. You have no excuse.
I know, but it's good.
I'm all just trying to kill time while I tweet and hope I tweeted correctly and don't typo my own stream. Okay, I
So
think
if
we're
you guys
good.
haven't figured out, this episode's going to be a little different because
It's our
are...
16th
No,
ones.
they're
We're
2
going
minutes
off the
away
cuff.
from figuring it out because we always banter for 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Remember,
You're
it's in
right.
the script.
Right. Yeah, you're right. We haven't gotten to the empty part of the script.
To be honest, this time I just kind of wanted to experiment with our 4-month anniversary.
Oh, look, Timu and Chat, been married for 16 years. We have both forgotten the anniversary twice.
Oh, my wife's never forgotten it.
Wait, was it one you forgot it and then one the wife forgot it? Because then
Or
at
two
least you're
each.
even? Or
No, both his
is dude.
personalities forgot. No, I don't know. Okay, so here's the thing. I today was like getting ready to we were thinking about topics and stuff, and I went, you know what? You know what we haven't done this week, like at all on the show? We haven't just had an off-the-cuff discussion about whatever just kind of pops in our head at that moment. Normally our topics are kind of pre-vetted and kind of pre-discussed a little bit and be like, okay, yeah, that can turn into a conversation. No, that won't really lead to any sort of a branch-off discussion. Today we're going to see how good we are at this whole like talking to people live thing. We do have more than average...
people? Like each other? Or like
Yeah, like
or
each other.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you were like going to use the Bluetooth call-in feature. And I was like,
Oh, heck no.
no. I don't
Why
know
would
if I
you
want
do
to
that?
talk directly to our chat.
So I do have more our FTFM. FTFA. Whatever. See,
From the freaking manual. Wait, what?
okay.
Sometimes manual talks.
I haven't
Maybe
taken a
Jay
sip of my
should have
drink yet.
RTF aid, and then he would get the FTF.
Read the
correct.
freaking audience.
Yeah.
We do have more questions than average, though. In case we just decide we suck at this, we have more stuff to talk about. Some short answer-ish, some long answer-ish. I don't know why suddenly I'm talking like my dentures are falling out or something.
Your sponge sticks.
My
falling out.
spudges. So, all right.
No, I haven't gotten my drone back, and my elite degree name is right here.
It's never gonna come back.
Yeah, it's probably never going to come back.
In-
Unless physically I climb up there or we
when
get
the
something
Santa
else.
Ana winds happen, it might end up somewhere.
Yeah.
But you won't be around.
Also, the day after it got stuck, it rained, and so that was
Oh.
like, I was like, okay, it's a write-off for
It's
sure.
done.
Because, yeah, dude.
The only thing that'd have any value on that then would be the frame and the propellers.
And the SD card. If anyone really
Oh,
wants
yeah.
a 32 gig micro SD card with some crappy flight footage on there, sure. You can go climb that tree and go get it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure like they trim the palm trees like once a month, right?
Yeah. Well.
So maybe they might have dropped it off at the
Have you
office.
looked at a lot of the palm trees around here?
Yeah, but it's a business park, so they
It's a-
usually
yeah, it's a business park.
kind of like.
So are we. And when's the last time you seen anyone climbing the trees?
You're right.
That's true.
So I feel like people don't prune palm trees until there's so many dead branches just hanging down.
Yeah, I was surprised that the fact that it was all like it was like mossy. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
what I got
yeah, there's
stuck in.
fibers
because
in
you were
there.
like,
It was
oh,
like
this is what it looks like up here. 'Cause you had a first person view.
Yeah,
obviously.
but the thing is, like when I was at Fontana Park, the those palm trees are nicely trimmed because I hit.
But it's
a
a park.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like
You're
you know
right.
Parks and Rec, right?
Yeah,
no,
the Parks and
Leslie
Rec-
Knope is all about keeping those palms trimmed, you know. And there's no pits in our parks, so anyway, I know that's like obviously season 1, but I only got to season 2 in Parks and Rec. I'm an Office fan, and I hated Leslie Knope. Unpopular opinion, I believe. People tell me all the time because I don't like Parks and Rec that I'm the idiot, and I guess that's fine.
I mean,
cool.
well, we
I
already knew
couldn't
that.
get in the office, but I got into Parks and Rec.
I guess it makes sense that you could kind of be one or the other, but most people I've talked to like both.
I do like The Office though. Like the episodes you show me are funny, but when I try watching it, it just gets like
no. It's not that. It's just okay. Looks like we're talking about The Office here. Remember,
boy.
it started in early 2000s with Ricky Gervais in Britain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And British humor and American humor are not generally interchangeable. And I feel like Ricky Gervais was kind of ahead of its time with that, but the casting just wasn't right. The characters in the British Office, which only had 2 seasons, I think, just to me, I tried watching it after I got into the American Office, just weren't like relatable, or I didn't connect with them at all. But if you pay attention to the British Office and the first season of the American Office, they're the same plot lines. They're just done a little bit different, like the whole stapler and the Jell-O and all that sort of stuff. Putting Dwight's like stuff in the vending machine and all that. That kind of stuff has all happened on the British one, but it just wasn't funny then. The problem with any show though is it takes time for it to kind of like find itself.
Yeah.
And the first season of almost everything, in my opinion, sucks. Not obviously shows like I think we have obviously our caveats to that, which are like The Mandalorian and Loki and stuff like that. Probably Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. All that stuff was good.
Although the Mendo kind of gets a pass because
It already had pre-established worlds and stuff to work with it.
well, and also it already had pre-established really crappy other things in the universe, and so we were all hankering for a good Star Wars anything, you know.
So did
at
you
the
not make
time.
it past season 1 at any time?
in The Office.
Yeah.
I don't think I still passed it yet.
Okay,
Yeah, I've
just
never-
do
I've never
yourself
watched it.
and just do an honest favor to yourself,
Just watch it all the way through.
because it's only 6 episodes in the first season. It's a pilot season, and pretty much everyone, including what's his face, Steve Carell, was like this. He didn't even like. He was still looking for other jobs, like other gigs to do.
Just in case, because he didn't think it was gonna.
Yeah,
work.
most people are like they just until you're picked up for like long-term contracts with a network.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. It's literally contract work. I mean, people don't know how Hollywood works. You write a script, you get companies, investors to invest in it, and then you get a production company, you make films, you make a pilot, and then you're like, who wants to buy this show? Who wants it, right? And NBC picked it up, and then I think it was after like the 3rd episode or whatever, they
second
ordered
season?
like 3 seasons of it or something like that.
Okay.
And then it went for 9 seasons. But yeah, it was, season 1, like I tell people all the time, it's not bad. But you kind of don't really like Michael in the beginning because he's sort of he's narcissistic. He is, but
He hasn't become.
he's
the
not
Michael
he's
that
not
we
lovable
know.
Michael.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, geez, screw Michael, you know. But
Okay.
it season 2, that's when I feel like the writing staff really kind of got its stride.
See, and I feel like because I was exposed to more of just like individual situations and funny clips and stuff like that from the show before I actually tried to watch it, I think honestly it kind of ruined it. It was like one of those things where I was just like, I kind of like the frosting better than the cake. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I didn't really care about the characters or their journeys or their character development, but the situational comedy is so freaking funny.
In The Office?
Yeah, I still think it's probably the funniest situational comedy. You know what I mean? Like those moments of just pure hilarity are so funny that I love all those moments, but I can't watch the show because my ADD just doesn't. I'm just like,
I mean,
get bored of it.
it makes sense. I just completed my 10th tour through the show.
Yeah.
I've watched it 10 times all the way through.
Yeah, because you're into literally everything about it. Just pushes all your buttons perfectly. You know what I mean? It's
well,
like,
not to mention it's also my happy show.
Yeah.
Like it's the show when I'm just like, you know what, I'm kind of like depressed today.
Work in an office, like a lot.
Yeah, like, and I know exactly like who in real life was what
Yeah.
character or closest resembled a certain character.
Because that's why the movie Waiting was that for me.
Because you worked in food service.
Exactly. I worked in food service, and like me and my friends that used to work in food service would always watch it and just die laughing at everything because everything was a thing that was a reference to something that happened. Just like The Office probably is for you, you know. So I think that's why it works.
Yeah, I mean, but then I think it's just The Office kind of, to me, pioneered a lot of slapstick humor, kind of like The Simpsons has kind of like done everything, right? The Office was, to me, a series that did a lot of like funny things first in a very, very funny way. They also made the cold open a thing, which nobody really did cold opens in shows until then. Do you know what cold opens are?
I mean, besides Star Trek. Star Trek, every episode of Star Trek has a cold open.
But it's not comedy based, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Like,
Rick and Morty, they have cold opens.
Rick and Morty comes way after The Office, dude.
Yeah.
I know.
You gotta go back to like 2004 for The Office.
I wasn't really watching The Office back then, though.
Exactly, but I said they did it first, and you're like, oh, but Rick and Morty. And I'm like, no, we're talking about who did it first.
But when
They
you
might
mentioned
have
cold
they might have
opens-
been the first to do it in a comedy because like most dramas would have a cold open.
But they didn't even do it till like the end of season 2, maybe season 3.
Yeah.
When they did, but it's just, if people don't know what a cold open is, it's basically just an unrelated little skit at the start before the credits. Sometimes it would tie into the episode. Most of the time, it was completely unrelated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was an opportunity for them to be like, hey, we got this little funny, like you said, kind of a situational comedy skit we want to do, but it doesn't tie into the plot line, so we'll just make it a little like 2-minute thing.
Yeah, just throw it in there.
Yeah, and I know that the Parks and Rec did that, but Parks and Rec did it. It seemed like from minute one because The Office had already sort of established it.
Yeah.
But one of the things I hate about like TV shows though, is there's this need for people to be like, oh no, that show sucks. I like blah blah blah. It's like you have to pick a comedy that you're a groupie of, and it's like why?
Fanboyism.
That's
right?
so unnecessary. No, you can like more than one thing in a genre.
No.
Yes, you can.
That's not allowed.
Yes, you can.
Not allowed. You're not allowed to like more than one thing at once. And in
Nerf guns suck.
Whatever you like sucks because it's not what I like.
You literally just described like more
I
than
was
half the audience.
internet. No, like 90% of the internet, right?
I wanted to give my audience the benefit of the doubt that they're not 90% like that. But I've read comments, so
Clear.
I was like, oh yeah, that's how we make sure guns are clear around
you
here. We just shoot them.
You just desk pop real quick just to make sure it's clear.
What? Okay, do you guys? Are either of you even watching any shows right now?
I can't.
Not
I
really.
can't do TV. Even even shows that I really like. Like I freaking loved The Expanse. I still haven't made it through first season. Like it took
I
me-
kind of feel bad for.
me?
Maybe we'll get onto the discussion of ADHD because it's directly related to that. But
Yeah.
I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
I do because there's so much good like brain tickling you can do with the right show, but your brain isn't allowing you to be tickled like that. You know.
Because there's lots of parts in between that are just boring and character parts, and I'm just like, whatever. I don't really care. Just show me cool spaceships shooting guns in space. Or
I
whatever.
get it though.
But, yeah.
I probably was in my mid 30s before I ever actually sat down and watched shows.
Yeah.
I mean that's why I caught the first year.
I did watch a season of 24 in 24 hours once.
I started watching 24, but then I just got annoyed.
Yeah, but I mean, that was the only season of 24 that I've watched all the way
I was like,
through.
wait a minute, all this happens in 1 hour?
Yeah.
No.
And then I just and this was like, I was right out of high school and I had all this free time. And I was like, what would it be like to live a day in Jack Bauer's life? And then, so I did. I started at freaking 9 a.m. and then went all the way, all nighter and everything.
When does he sleep?
He doesn't. Not when there's a freaking terrorist attack. No, he's not going to sleep. That's when you get called in.
I think the show I've been watching lately is Lego Masters, just because I like Lego, and it was neat to watch.
What is that, like a documentary-based building thing?
It's a game show. Like
I've never heard of it.
That's crazy. They have Lego competition game
Yeah.
shows?
What network?
It's on Hulu.
Okay, but it's still got to be a network. Like that means it's a TV show,
I
right?
think it's Fox, maybe. Maybe, but
Fox doesn't normally make good stuff. So
Will
I'm
Arnett's the
surprised.
host, so it's pretty funny.
My nose is itchy. I need to trim my nose hairs. Anyone else have nose hair problems? His hair was like me. I can't find a nose hair trimmer that does the job right. And no, I'm not sticking the wax and stick up my nose.
No,
like everyone else does.
No.
I gotta keep rubbing my nose. I'm sure people think like, "You get a tissue."
Every
And it's
fail
like,
compilation video we watch at the here in the freaking
gets
office,
stuck.
it's just there's always one guy with the thing that just all the cotton stays in his nose, and it's like, great, now what?
that's one of the things I'm noticing now. Is like, why is there hair coming out of my nose and my ears? There never was before.
The worst is when
Like my dad was not a hairy guy, and I'm not hairy either. Like not like hairy baby, But no, but now I'm suddenly like, you're starting.
it's when the nose hair interacts with your mustache hair. That's the worst because it just goes like this. It goes,
so it's all tickly.
Yeah.
But no, I knew that. I knew.
I'm all self-conscious about mine now. It's
So I've been
annoying.
going to the same barber since 2006. So a long time, right?
For your nose hair?
No, for my hair.
Just kidding.
But I knew.
Imagine if there were styles.
No,
like
I
nose hair
knew
styles.
I knew when I was starting to get the hair when like he's doing like around the ears, he's like zzz, 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 like he's sticking it in. I'm like,
I haven't gotten ear hair yet.
I have ear hair.
I was like, oh no.
That's annoying.
Maybe that'll get unlocked when I turn 33 in 3 days.
No, I remember the one time like I had an ear hair and I was like, what the hell? And I was like, oh, that hurt. And then the first time I pulled a nose hair, I was like,
Oh, dude, nose hair. Yeah. And it's always, there's like a 1 second delay, right? You're just like, I think I got it.
then your eyes are like,
Yeah.
start pouring water.
I've done one when I pulled it and I just started sneezing.
Wait, what?
You're like a cat.
I've never seen
Yeah. But it was like a deep sneeze. It's like, how can I do this?
Yeah, like that the vine of the cat, and it's just like.
and then everyone gets a little more like wound up.
Yeah.
It's like getting pissed at the fact that it's sneezing.
No, but I use the nose hair trimmer that you stick. The perfect sponsor for this one would have been Harry's. But anyway,
Somebody said Manscaped, dude.
oh yeah, Manscaped. But
Does,
like,
do Manscaped do?
I'm pretty sure that's
that
just
nose.
I don't know.
scaping?
I think it's all about hairy bodies, right?
Balls. They literally say like.
Yeah, but I think it's just about trimming any body hair. I mean, nose hair is body hair, Phil. Don't body discriminate.
Don't hair discriminate. Stop hair shaming, bro.
But no, I have the little it's like the little round ball head you stick in there and just like
Yeah.
But I feel like it doesn't get it all.
Yeah, same. I
is
use
annoying.
I have like a precision trimming one, and then I just go, like,
Oh, you like scrape the wall.
and then it usually gets most of it, but yeah. Because I hate pulling.
You're
it.
one
Pulling
step
it's-
away from the stick and wax. I'm telling you.
I'm not gonna do that because it's not even. I'm not even scared of like it pulling all the hair out because that's what it's supposed to do. I'm scared of it getting stuck, like every fail compilation video, like we were talking about.
Yeah, it's like, and then, the thing about like my nose hair is like it doesn't stick out of my nose. You can't see it. It goes like from the middle out. And so it's always like tickling the outside of my nostrils.
So the inside of the outside.
Yeah.
Of the, wait, I mean,
Yes,
sorry, the inside
yes.
wall. Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's
so like from the
annoying.
septum out, and then it's just like when I talk.
So it's doing this.
Yes.
Oh.
And that's what this one is doing it right now every time I talk. So I'm talking to you guys, and I'm like subconsciously like, don't pick your nose because it looks like you're picking your nose, but you're scratching an itch.
You should do it on camera. You should pull that one
No.
hair right now.
No, I won't. I
Come up
won't be
real
able
close,
to.
I'll refocus
I won't
it.
be able to.
Oh
Oh,
my
I think I
gosh.
might have just got a tip of it.
The worst than pulling a nose hair is trying to pull it and then the tweezers slip and it just yanks on it, but it doesn't actually remove the hair. And then
Yeah,
so now
it's
you're
still
crying. And
That's what just happened right now. I was like, can I
Yeah.
touch the end of it? And I was like,
and then you
oh,
sniffle.
wait. This is gonna suck. Hold on. This is gross.
You
I
better
know.
get it though. You better actually get it, otherwise you're screwed.
I can't get the. I don't have fingernails. I've been trimming them really short because of the guitar, and my fingertips are numb.
You want to use the ceramic
iFixit?
tweezers? No.
No. But maybe.
Oh my god.
It itches. It's tickly so bad.
So he said, "OMG, just use a nose hair trimmer." We
Dude,
just said that. It doesn't-
welcome to 19 minutes ago.
That was a really fast 19 minutes, dude.
But this is what happens when we don't come up with topics. We talk 15 minutes about nose hair.
Yeah. This
Actually,
is
it's been
great.
more like 5 minutes of nose hair, but still. So somebody asked if we were excited for Suicide Squad. Okay, first of all, opinions on the first one.
I never officially saw it. From what I have seen of it,
It wasn't okay. I saw it.
Okay, I think the biggest complaint was Joker didn't have a big enough role. Like people thought Joker was going to be a bit more like. I think a lot of people were obviously kind of spoiled by Dark Knight Joker because it was so good.
I was definitely, I definitely went into it. Like, I didn't mind Joker, but I wanted to see all the other characters like Deadshot and whatnot.
Yeah, and then Deadshot's not even in this one.
No, but
that was Will Smith, right?
Yeah,
it was Will Smith. Yeah.
But I like the first one. It was a neat little like side story.
So did you just go into
get over the editing, dude. It's so just like they have a big boss fight or whatever, blah blah blah, and then they freaking rip her heart out, and then more stuff happens, and then literally they go back to Deadshot, her heart's out, and it's like, duh. Welcome to the fight 5 minutes ago. But also, why are you showing me as a viewer this right now? Like, you already showed me the heart getting it. It's just there's just so much like just. The movie could have been an entire hour shorter if they just edited it like nicely instead of just freaking weird, bizarre choices.
I feel like there's always been this always leads to the same discussion, DC versus Marvel.
Yeah.
Now, DC have obviously had big shoes to fill just to even try and be opposite of the MCU, right? But the MCU already had a huge head start, obviously, on adoption rate of people wanting to watch it.
Yeah.
Proving that comic book movies can be and are a viable like movie franchise. It's funny because the director of Suicide Squad 2 personally said he hates action hero movies. So it's kind of like, what? First of all, why are you directing one then? But moving on.
For the second one? James Gunn?
Yeah. He said there was an article where he was quoted as saying he hates action hero movies.
Did he not do Guardians of the Galaxy?
I'm not sure.
James
honestly.
Gunn, right? Let me look that up.
Look it up. But there
does
was
it make it an action? Well, yeah.
Technically,
I think he's actually. I think he said superhero movies specifically, but you have to look it up. But the thing is, like, I feel like DC is trying to change and do too much at the same time. Like, Man of Steel was kind of a flop. I mean, everyone loves Henry Cavill. He's a good Superman, but like the Man of Steel, Superman versus Batman, and all that. It feels like because it's DC, they remind me of like the first 1989 Batman or what year it was with Michael Keaton and it was what's his face, the dude that did Edward Scissorhands and all that. It was him.
Johnny Depp?
No, not the actor. The anyway, like, the chat will fill us in.
Yeah, that was a Batman before my time, so I don't remember.
Not Bram Stoker's. That was Dracula.
He did do Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and 2.
Yeah, and I bet you could find a quote in there where he said that he doesn't like superhero movies.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny that he did Guardians and then is now doing Suicide Squad.
But anyway, I feel like they've tried to stick a little bit too closely to that whole DC being kind of gothic style. Because I think about gothic DC heroes, they're very gothic, right? In like the
so basically Zack Snyder. It's too Zack Snyder.
Tim Burton, that's who it is. Tim Burton did the first Batman, and I feel like there's still a lot of Tim Burton gothic darkness into this, and I don't think it's.
He did that Batman. That's crazy.
Yeah, he did that Batman, and I don't feel like people are really liking that.
Yeah.
So they changed so much from one movie to the next because they're like, okay, well, let's tweak the knobs a whole bunch and see if we can get the traction of MCU. And of course, diehard DC fans are going to go watch it no matter what. People like me who just like action movies, like we talked about Fast 9 last week, I don't care how ridiculous it is. I go into every individual movie as a singular episodic experience that I'm going to look at like, is this an enjoyable experience? Not, well, they messed up with this lore, and it's like, I don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm kind of the perfect viewer for these types of movies. But I think if DC were going to do an origin story, I would watch one on Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because I feel like Harley Quinn, especially with the actress that does her now, and I forget her name, and she's extremely
Robbie
famous.
Margot?
Yeah, I feel like she does a great job at Harley Quinn, and I think she could pull off like a Black Widow-esque backstory type movie.
Because it's tough to not kind of Flanderize her character and just make her like, oh, she's ditzy and crazy and hot. You know what I mean? Like, because that's like how many
but that was what was
Harley
cool.
Quinn are there that are like that.
That's what was cool about the first Suicide Squad. They went into the bit of the backstory about how the Joker corrupted her mind.
Yeah.
And she went from his shrink to his sidekick.
Yeah, and then a lot of people went and saw that, and they were like, I want that as relationship goals. And it's like, you guys are all missing the point.
But he also, like, every time he had to make a choice between him and her, he left her.
Yeah, exactly. And then she keeps coming back. It's like, it's supposed to be like, this is what a toxic relationship looks like. And then so many people.
I'm sorry, guys.
Like,
the Joker is not relationship goals. don't aspire
You can't stop them. You can't. Stop
don't
them.
aspire to have a romantic relationship with your shrink.
I think the Harley Quinn cartoon or the animated series has been focused more on
Mr. J.
No, like it's recent, but
I thought you were talking about the old Batman the animated series.
that was pretty good. I like that as a kid.
That was my after-school programming.
yeah. Before Batman Beyond came out, I was like,
Yeah.
give
No,
me
Batman the
old
animated
one.
series was awesome.
Yeah, but the new one, the new
He was a real
animated one,
jerk to Robin though.
I was gonna say, is that where all the
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
where all the meme clips are from? Right?
Yeah, he's such a jerk to
I never
Robin.
watched that show, but I
Yeah.
mean, I've seen.
But the new Harley Quinn cartoon has more focus on the Joker Harley Quinn relationship.
Well, I saw a meme recently that's like, which Harley Quinn is your favorite? And they have like the 4 main ones, right? And obviously, that's the one you're talking about was the Harley Quinn edition before Margot, what's her name? But,
Margot Robbie, yeah.
yeah, Rob. I can never remember her name.
It's a chick with 2 first names.
Did you see the interview with her about Suicide Squad 1 though? That the Joker makeup when it was on what's his face?
Jared Leto.
She could not look at him. Like she had such a hard time acting opposite of him because he legitimately terrified her with that makeup and his
awesome.
persona. Like that's when you know you're at least being good at your role. That she had such a hard time being like she said she had nightmares about the Joker from just being opposite of him. And that's when people were just really hoping for like a good Joker movie.
Yeah.
And then they end up doing one with Joaquin Phoenix. So it's like, I mean, can we
I heard that one was good. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I heard it was good and it's a standalone kind of a reimagining. Right? Kind of like I feel like the Joker is the Spider-Man of DC. Like how many times can we remake this story?
Yeah, but the thing about that is that it feels like DC is remaking it out of necessity, whereas Spider-Man they're remaking it because everyone just wants more Spider-Man, and it's like cool.
I don't think everyone just wants more Spider-Man though.
I think pretty much everyone wants more
Really?
Spider-Man. Yeah.
I mean, not Mark Hamill. Tom Holland obviously nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also Spider-Verse, I've heard was super dope.
But then
I wish I saw.
I
that
guess we
movie
wouldn't
after I
have-
hadn't seen it.
Oh, yeah.
I
that's
guess
my
we
favorite
wouldn't have
Spider-Man.
all the mean Toby memes though if we didn't have the Tobey Maguire
No,
edition.
and the thing is, like, Tobey Maguire's portrayal was still also like pretty fun in its own way. I mean, obviously, it was way goofier and way more.
We would have
like,
had
derpy,
more. We
but-
would have had more Spider-Man in that the Sony version.
Yeah.
If he had become such a jerk to work with.
Oh, Tobey Maguire.
Yeah,
That's
people
funny.
said he became impossible to work with.
Did it go to his head?
I think so, because it really
I'm
was a
Spider-Man
breakout.
now. It's
It
like,
really
no,
was
you're
a
not.
breakout role for him.
Yeah, it kind of was.
Someone in chat as it went by said that they should make Mark Hamill play the Joker.
Yeah, 'cause
now
he
that
did, right?
He does.
Well,
He's
he
a
was
voice
the
actor for it.
I understand that, and he was a voice actor for the animated series as well. But what I'm saying is like a live action reimagining of the Joker with Mark Hamill in some way would be neat, in my opinion.
Oh, like an older Batman and Joker.
Yeah, like it's the future-ish.
Have
or
them be
something.
like the old Joker or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
he's more of a kingpin kind of a role, running an
Yeah.
outfit or something. But I mean, Mark Hamill could obviously pull it off.
Yeah.
It's obvious the voice would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to circle back to something though. We talked about you don't really watch TV. Do you? So I said in our last video yesterday, I kind of did a little blurb about saying that I have ADHD, and I think a lot of people knew that already. But
I don't know why I nodded my head. That seems kind of
Yeah. It's like,
well, you guys already knew, but I
yeah.
mean, the audience, I think anyone that has any sense of
my job is to make both of our ADHDs make sense somehow in a 10 to 20 minute long video.
and they usually do.
Usually.
the most
No,
part.
no.
I
What you
try.
need here's what you
I
need to
try.
do. Here's what you need to do in a bonus video. We'll put it up on the Jay Says channel. Take everything you cut out, make a video out of that, and we'll put it up.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Would you guys watch a video that's nothing but the
that's
cutting
like
room floor?
That's like hot dog meat in video form, right? Or like, where it's just like just take everything that we didn't use and mash it together in some shape of food.
And I'm
then-
not talking about outtakes and bloopers. We're talking about like trying to make something entertaining out of the most non-usable
You guys are gonna
footage.
get like 6 minutes of him slowly rotating a tube over a, over a heat gun and just going.
Just mute the stuff I say during it, though. The internet isn't ready.
Nope, not bending yet. Hold on. because when Jay's concentrating, his head goes down a little bit because he's like.
And so my
focusing on
nose
it.
breathing
So your
goes right
nose
into the mic.
ends
In
up
the
aiming
zone.
straight into the lab.
So,
And
this is what you hear.
yeah,
This is what you hear
yeah.
when I'm doing it.
That's exactly. No, that's exactly. I've heard that sound like 30,000 times, dude. At
Nope.
least. Yeah. Yeah. And then,
yeah, that's what you hear. But
in the background, food's here.
yeah.
yeah. Also, too,
Nick, can you move the light?
shout out to if people haven't seen a live demo, just how amazing the SM7B is. First of all, while you're handling it, I mean, check that out, right? If you ever needed a live demo of why you get good boom arms and a good mic. You know,
for the people that were asking too, I just saw a couple of people asking what boom arm it is. It's a Frameworks, whatever the heck.
There were two versions of the Frameworks. This is the higher one, the higher end one. Okay. It's got its own cable that runs through it. Obviously, the entire spring mechanism is shock mounted, plus the SM7B has its own internal shock mount. So it's double shock mounted, so you can be like this on the table, and it doesn't transfer through the mic. Like,
I mean, the sound.
No, the sound does, but the like you're not hearing.
Oh
we are now,
gosh. Sorry for anyone with subwoofers in their car listening to this right now.
Well, every time we play Phasmophobia, I do this.
Dude,
I go.
You probably made their license plate go.
I doubt it. We got the low cut on, but anyway.
Sure.
I don't know if it'll do it because this mic's tuned differently than the one at home. But every time I do the Phasmophobia heartbeat, I go.
Yeah, it actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah, this one's more high pass, but.
And then
jeez. Okay, so when I started to say when I started to say 5, I'm going to be live streaming it tonight, by the way, if anyone wants to come hang out. But anyway, if anyone, well, no, what I started to say 5 minutes ago until the ADHD.
Yeah, we were literally trying to talk about ADHD and we got sidetracked.
Jeez.
You said you don't.
Exactly what it's like,
yes,
guys.
You said you don't watch TV. Is that because your ADHD won't allow it?
No, it's just I'll watch something all the way through. Like I watched the last TV show besides Star Trek Voyager that I watched all the way through, and this is super nerdy, is Battlestar Galactica 2000 whatever the F it was, 2004 or whatever. Yeah, I watched that entire show all the way through. It has to be enough like interesting. I guess I have to care about the characters, and it's like with a comedy, it's for me like for my brain, it's just kind of less about the character. Like I don't care what happens to Michael in The Office, you know what I mean, as a character, but a lot of the stuff that he does is hilarious. So that's the draw to the show. But when that's the only draw to the show for me, then I end up just watching individual episodes.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I did the same thing as you. Before I ever watched The Office all the way through, I watched the funny episodes. But then when I watched it all the way through, you really do fall in love with certain character plot lines. You do fall in love with certain characters themselves. The characters themselves have relationships with each other, and you start rooting for others and hating others. And it's like anything else. That was the thing that I think kept me with The Office and watched it all the way through. Yeah. Because I've not watched any other show all the way through. I've gone back and started watching shows from my childhood all the way through, like Married with Children, started at the beginning and watching that all the way through. Home Improvement, I've watched it obviously while it was live. I was the same exact age as the kid actors in that show, so of course I was as active as a kid, so I caught them when I caught them and didn't when I didn't. And so I'm literally about 5 episodes from the end of that series as well. Yeah. So I'm going back and realizing like just how good some of this stuff was that I never had the opportunity to go back and watch. And I never, ever, ever watched TV until like probably the pandemic, honestly.
That was what you were just like, let's try this out. Screw it. We have time. Yeah.
But but the other thing about having ADHD, and I know that ties into all of our Nick, would you say you have ADHD?
Yeah. I think it affects me differently.
I know just like autism, there's lots of definitions of ADHD, and so it's like ADHD.
The stereotypes like the spectrum, right? But yeah,
right. But ADHD is like an umbrella type of diagnosis, and then there's different forms of it. Mm-hmm. Like it's ADHD with impulse disorder, right? Yeah, ADHD with like both my kids have it. No, but both my kids have ADHD, and so
my dad
my wife,
was
because
diagnosed bipolar. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that's mixed in. I've never officially gotten a diagnosis.
That's very chemical, obviously too. But but what I was getting at though is like I've only read one book from beginning to end in my entire life, and it was a Friday the 13th novel.
Did you do it in like a weekend too?
Did I do what?
Because that was the thing about BSG is like I got into it after the show was already done. Because I got it. The show was like 2004 to like whatever, like probably 2010.
Yeah, I remember when it was on TV.
Yeah,
it was on UPN.
I got into it around
13, the same one that did like the Star Trek.
That did Voyager. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I got into it in like 2011, 12 or whatever. So I binged the entire series. Yeah. Like for me, it's like for me to watch a show, it has to one be bingeable and two like be interesting enough for my ADHD to be that one thing, like you said, that you focus on.
I've never
and
watched.
That's all I did. Like as soon as I got home from work, I was just like, I can't wait to see what's on the next 5 episodes that I'm gonna watch tonight or whatever.
The other, I can name all the series I've ever watched all the way through. The very first series I ever completed from beginning to end, while it was actually on TV, was Sons of Anarchy.
Okay.
After that was Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I remember when you were talking about that.
And then after Breaking Bad, I didn't get into any TV shows again until The Office, like way after the fact. And you know what sucks about The Office? The show still works today. It's timeless.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing in that show that reminds you that was almost 20 years ago. So other than seeing the monitors and the computers and some of the older like like the LG flip phone
Yeah, I
that
think
everyone
it's the
had.
phones more, because at least the monitors are still flat panels.
Yeah, they even
so.
made jokes about them moving to Blackberries in the episode, and everyone's like, "I can't. The buttons are too small." Like they're all mad, right? The old people in the show, but then what happens is like you're watching young Steve Carell, you're watching young John Krasinski, young Jenna Fisher, and Angela Kinsley, and all them, and you look at them now, and you're like, "Oh, that's just sad." You're like,
because they're old.
Because like Steve Carell looks old AF compared to then.
Well, John Krasinski got all super buff though.
Well, in the last season of The Office, you could tell he started really bulking up for other roles.
He
went from like stick Jim to just like bro Jim.
He went from Jim to Jim. Crap, it's Jim.
Chris
He's
Pratt's
gonna eat my lunch money.
Yeah, So Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt too. Yeah.
No,
What the heck? I thought
in
funny
Parks
guys
and
were
Rec.
supposed to be fat. Like I had hope, and then Chris Pratt got all super buff too. And
Chris
I'm like,
Pratt.
Now I can't.
I know, I heard
I have
that.
to be funny and hot.
I heard that.
What?
You said fuck. Oh shit! Damn it!
I'll use the same round.
No face.
Wait, when did I say that? I don't.
In the middle of
you
your
just-
rant.
yeah,
but then
just in the middle.
does it count because I repeated what
Yes.
you said? Ow! Ow! Go ahead, Phil. I said 2 bad words. Ow! That was a fat roll.
I know. I pretended to aim for your shoulder. Then I changed.
The fact that I repeated what he said and then I realized what he said, I said, "Oh, S, D."
I genuinely didn't. I didn't even notice. Jeez. Well. Oh yeah, because I was complaining that like
Yes.
I have to.
You said WTF, like you said it out loud.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And then that's when he was all. I was like, I heard it.
But
Get
for
him.
real,
Get
though,
him.
like it's annoying.
I was like,
I
you
thought-
what? You said, oh man.
I thought I could write on just being funny, but
Nick-
I guess I have to be funny and hot.
And Nick is over here going, it's happening.
Yeah, what? Oh, that I was about to cuss.
No, that he got to shoot both of us.
Oh,
Nick literally was just like,
Oh yeah, that felt good.
when I
I want to shoot his beard.
when I let out the 3 cuss words in a row, you were like,
It was like the combo was like
Yeah, the combo
you said
meter
2x,
keeps filling
3x,
up.
4x.
what I heard in my head as it was happening was, finish him. I was like, oh no.
The Doom
hilarious.
soundtrack kicks on in the background.
Oh yeah.
BFG division. Yeah. Hey, what's BFG stand for?
But you know, ADHD is not a bad thing if you can focus it.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the gym. Maybe I should learn to ADHD the gym a little bit more, but
That's kind of been. Well, I mean,
but I have an injury right now, which is why my lifting had to stop in
That
terms of
sucks.
upper body, which sucks because I have a strained ligament in my elbow and it sucks, but you know.
Wait, that elbow? No,
Go ahead. It doesn't matter anymore.
I can't lift anyway. There's no point to living.
Yeah, I've got a bad tendonitis on this outer ligament in my elbow.
Oh, yeah, that's the same one that pops for me whenever I'm doing
Yeah.
like tricep stuff, like presses.
It's been 2 months now.
I find it hard to get into series, like TV series for me now, because, I mean, the last thing I watched was, Lego Masters, and then I did Hell's Kitchen, but that was because the season was already finished. I could sit down and watch.
Were you watching the Hell's Kitchen's like Young Guns one?
No, not that. I think that's a new one. I'm waiting
Yeah,
for it.
my wife and I just started watching that one.
Oh, they have like a kids one, or
Well,
oh,
it's
no.
it's like
young
it's like
adults.
young 20s.
Oh,
Yeah. But yeah, I usually wait for the season to finish and then I watch it because I don't
Yeah.
like the point of waiting till next episode.
When we were watching Young Guns, we only watched like the first 2 episodes, I believe, so far. But because my wife and I will round robin, like we'll just watch 2 or 3 episodes of a show and we just kind of like go around and around, right?
Damien, the Lafroy is cracked open.
And as my wife is sitting there like laid up in the chair, obviously recovering from surgery, she's watching lots of TV right now. But we decided to watch Young Guns, and it's so funny. And they're showing like previously on Hell's Kitchen, and they're showing stuff. And I'm like, oh, I remember that, and it was like 17 years ago. Yada yada. I'm like, oh, wait, dang it. That was 17 years ago. Holy, because it started in 2000.
Yeah.
So it's 21 seasons, or is it 2001, 20 season? Either way, it's...
Oh, so he did, like, the kids from then are now the contestants again?
No, these are just...
Contestants?
Contestants? No, these are just young, aspiring chefs and whatnot. Okay. So, yeah. But the funny thing is, like, whoever wins the one that just done, I guess, I don't know if it's done yet, but they are going to be the head chef, the executive chef at Gordon Ramsay's Steak in Las Vegas, where
okay.
So I was like, I could actually go there and order beef Wellington and be like, it's raw. But anyway, I want to do that at a Gordon Ramsay restaurant one day. Order something, be like, it's raw.
If it gets to the table raw, there's already a problem in the line.
Have you ever had beef Wellington yet?
No.
Okay, I haven't.
The thing is, I don't like rare meat, and beef Wellington is always rare.
Yeah.
But it was good.
But I've never had it before, so that I've been like holding out for a Gordon Ramsay like restaurant to have it at because I'm just like, well, I might as well have like the freaking all the meats.
You could check the
freaking. By the way,
you could check the menu at the London and Los Angeles. That's his restaurant as well.
Okay.
And then I believe all of his steakhouses have beef Wellington on the menu.
I remember,
it's a very popular British dish.
Because I've eaten at Gordon Ramsay Steak in Vegas once, and I did remember seeing beef Wellington, but I was also just kind of like, I'll just have a steak right now because it's named steak, not Gordon Ramsay's beef Wellington. So
they have risotto there too.
I'm gonna go to a steakhouse. I want a steak.
It's still a steak.
I know, but I want a steak.
It's just a steak with puff pastry around it.
But I want a steak.
It's a steak with dessert at the same time.
But I want dessert at dessert time.
Then get it at dessert time.
I'll have a steak.
But I don't want a steak at dessert.
Steak for your entree and then Wellington for your dessert.
I'm just being a contrarian just because I know that.
I know. Yeah, my wife and I had
Piss isn't a cuss word, right?
No, it's fine.
Okay, yeah, it pisses off Jay.
Nope, it's a cuss word.
He changed his mind.
Just because of the contrarian should be a cuss word.
I've said it before. I'm the worst. Like someone right there in chat just said, wait, Jay doesn't like rare meat? No, I'm the worst kind of male. I'm the worst kind of male. I don't like rare meat. I don't like beer. There's a few other things. I was listing off all the things that make me the worst kind of male to my wife the other day, and she's like, "But I still love you," and I'm like, "Thanks, that's great."
That's like a participation.
That's why the fact that like once I became good at smoking meat in my backyard, that's why when you guys came over and were eating my meat, and all the praises you guys were giving me, I'm like, I'm a man. It was good though. I mean,
it was good. We had food coma after that.
Well, we made 10 pounds of ribs that day, which I thought would be plenty, but then Brian ate 3 pounds of it by himself. So
I did go back. I went back for thirds, but I mean, I
got maybe 5 ribs out of all that. That day, but that was fine because the problem is when I cook the food, more often than not, I can't eat the food.
Wait, why?
I don't know.
It's just
something.
You mess it up, or
no? It's just something about like I've been around it so much. By the time it's time to eat, I'm not hungry.
What? Okay, so when I cook it, I'm excited to eat it.
No, I'm excited to eat it too, but then I like take like 3 bites and I'm like, I'm full. I just can't eat this right now.
For me, it's just like the gym. It's like the hardest part for me is getting up to go start cooking. And then once I'm in the cooking flow, then I'm like, yes, I can't wait for this. You know?
But the other thing is like, that's the first time when it became time to reheat the ribs. I was like, because they were St. Louis ribs the first time, the ones you guys had. I was like, okay, how should I reheat these? And I looked up online like a proper way to reheat them, like oven to 200 degrees, warm them slowly till 130, take them off, and then about 135 they're ready to eat because they'll still warm up a little bit when you take them
microwave
out.
it? No, I'm kidding.
Jeez. Yeah, I can't wait to do some more stuff on the smoker. And then I did that spatchcock chicken. That's a term. Don't put the guns up.
Okay.
That was great. It was funny because my wife actually videoed me cutting it because you have to cut it like down the sternum and break the ribs and all that.
Whoa.
But all the guts are still in it. Because it was a whole chicken. So I'm like, ew, why is that hanging? Ew, it's a liver. Oh. But then later...
I'm agnostic and you're making me want to pray for that chicken because I just feel bad that you're sitting here.
Well, it's like the biolab.
But my wife got me specific like shears for this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm all like, oh, that's, ooh. I looked inside. I was like, ew, there's guts dangling in there. And I'm all scooping them out. I'm like, oh.
That's like 8th grade science class, though. Like,
yeah, I know.
Some people didn't like dissecting this.
Yeah, I know. And little Jay walked in and was like, what do you do? Ew. It was like, there's liver and...
The science class?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guts.
One of my friends, like, made the frog talk. She had her finger, like, up the body. And she was just like, I've carved the frog. I'm like, oh my... I'm all neatly dissecting mine. I look over, she's all freaking making
Kermit
faces.
the Frog here.
I'm like, wow, it's a puppet, but it's made of.
But I know a lot of people.
It's
terrible.
I know a lot of people are probably like, "What is spatchcock?" It's literally where you have to cut the entire spine from the butt all the way up to the neck.
You have to spatch the entire.
You literally cut that. Yes, you have to spatch the entire what you said.
Chicken.
We
and
didn't
then
say cock in this context because it's
a chicken.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a male chicken. I don't think. Anyway, you can grab it and you yank it
big
all the
was
way
it?
out. Then you can open the chicken flat, like that.
Play it flat.
You can open
Yeah.
the. Okay,
No, you do that.
In that context.
I'm just ignoring Phil. You do that so that you can evenly cook it.
Yeah.
If it's still round like a whole chicken body, then it has to be on a rotisserie, right? But my smoker has a rotisserie built in, but
You have to get the motor attachment.
yeah,
or
I
whatever.
don't have it. Yeah, but no, spatchcocking it though is a better way of cooking it. I learned. It's just gross doing it. Look, I'm not one of those people that's like, hey, yeah. I'm like, ew, icky. You know, I don't like the guts part.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, I freaked out this last weekend because I smoked a salmon again, but I haven't done it for a while. But
That's hot.
yeah, but it was when I got down to scaling the fish and I was just grabbing it. Like, this feels really gross now that I'm doing it because it's a whole side of the salmon. I'm like, okay, this is kind of gross.
Yeah, it's easy to forget when you're eating salmon that it was a fish before.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
when you see half of a fish, it's like,
when you're breaking it down, it's
oh
like,
yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
why does it taste so good raw?
But salmon is so good though. Salmon is so good.
You know what though?
It's
I
so
don't.
fatty though.
I don't
Yeah,
eat
it was.
seafood. We've talked about this before.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it makes me hurl. Just the smell of it.
Although you've been getting kind of sort of
Well, because
weaning
my wife eats salmon and stuff
Yeah.
somewhat regularly, and so I've realized now the smell isn't making me feel sick. So I kind of want to maybe experiment with starting to smoke fish.
Do it.
smoked salmon.
I recommend it.
Seriously, smoked
Yeah.
salmon
It's
is
good.
dude. Oh my god.
Not only that, if I acquire the taste and it's good, it's like the healthiest protein you can eat.
My dad used to smoke salmon, and I would get like smoked salmon and freaking white rice, and get it packed as a lunch for me.
Yeah.
Dude, like that was like I could trade for anything in my group of friends. It was like I could trade for anything, dude. I had
Mo S says Jay's drunk. I'm pretty positive. No, I'm not. I always slur my words. Have you ever not watched my video?
he wasn't faking that. He didn't do that on purpose.
Oh man, whatever. We don't go right home
I
after.
edited Jay's speech so much that I can tell when he's about to slur a word or like a group of words. It's funny.
No, I'm not drunk. I might be tonight though.
I'm pretty buzzed right now, but I mean, I've been drinking because I didn't have anything to add in the last few
So look,
conversations.
in 2009, I had a Roux-en-Y full gastric bypass. So that means I'm direct injected alcohol injection into my bloodstream. So that's why I could.
That was that was direct injection ice cube to my uvula. I was gonna say
Is that what you were gonna say?
Jay has resizable bar, and he's
Yes.
resized the bar to the alcohol.
Yeah. So the other night when I was live streaming, some of you might remember this. The people I was playing with were like, "Oh, you died. Dude, take a shot." And I'm like, "No, that only applies when I'm playing with Nick and Phil." And they were like, "Take a shot, take a shot." So I did. I took a shot of the screwball, and literally, I know it sounds weird, right? Literally, like within 15 seconds, I was like,
Yeah.
"I feel it already. Fine."
Like I didn't believe Jay when he told me that until I did drink with him for the first time, and I was like, "Oh wow,
No, this is let me
it really is just."
allow me to set the stage. It was our Christmas party in like 2018 or 2018 I think it was, maybe 19.
I think it was 19.
Oh yeah, didn't we both finish? We both finished our first drink. We both chugged our first
Well,
drink of like liquor or whatever. Right?
Phil goes, ha ha. He's like, I'm gonna test this theory. He goes,
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah, I
go,
was
we're gonna go
excited. I was
drink for
hyped.
drink. He's like, as fast as we can. And he's like, I bet you I can get drunk as fast as you. And I'm like, no, you can't.
Okay, and
I was just sitting back there.
Most people don't argue about how fast they can get drunk, but we were.
The reason I said that is because even if I lost, which I did, it was going to be hilarious regardless. So yeah, like
We were 5 minutes into our Christmas party, and I was already like,
You were like this. Before I felt buzzed, like I had already chugged an entire freaking what did I have? Black Label.
Yeah.
I had a double shot of Black Label, and I chugged
and I was drinking old fashions
you chugged,
with
you
knob.
chugged your whole old fashioned, and then Jay was just like, And I was like, I'm starting to feel buzzed. And Jay's like,
then, of course,
I don't know what's going on.
And of course, my wife and Brian and his wife and Nick were there, and they're all like, "No, he's really drunk." Because you were like, "I was just pretending." I'm like,
and then by the time my drunkenness was like this, and I was
like,
peeking,
"Hey guys, what are we doing?"
Yeah, Jay came back down. He was like a sober, normal person, and I'm just like, "Let's throw bowling balls, dude."
So you guys saw in that video yesterday where Nick threw the bowling ball like way up high. That was the same night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun because as anyone in the chat right now, with the amount of people in here
awesome party
and
trick,
watching the replay,
literally.
there's probably a good chance somebody in here has had gastric bypass or knows someone that has and knows that, look, it's like basically pouring raw alcohol directly into my bloodstream.
Does caffeine do the same thing? Where like when
I
you
don't
drink,
know.
when
I'm
you drink
so
an energy
used to
drink-
caffeine.
You're right. You do have a habit.
I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be like me with nicotine, right? It's just like, does it do anything?
Oh yeah, people who remember when I got drunk at Barnacle-Lee's house and I was rolling around on the floor and then I passed out.
That clip?
Like I completely passed out in our live stream, like on the floor, dead. Jerry was actually chesting. He was checking my pulse and making sure that I
genuinely thought you.
Yeah, he was making sure I was still breathing.
Jeez.
And it's funny because in one of those clips from that live stream, you see me actually get up off the floor real suddenly and like run out of the room, and Jerry's like, "You okay?" I ran to the bathroom to throw up, even though I know I can't.
Yeah.
Because like I told you, the motion still has to happen.
Yeah.
But the crazy part is like
your brain doesn't know you can't.
the cool thing about this though is if the night is long enough, I can be both partying and DD, you know, which is not terrible. And we've tested it too. I had a friend that had a breathalyzer. Don't ask why.
Oh wow, it actually did metabolize it out.
Yeah. No, so
I was about to say, I was like,
not that I would ever condone drinking and driving, and I don't.
Yeah.
But it's like I wonder sometimes, like if somebody like me was over the legal limit at the time of arrest, by the time the blood tech comes and takes the blood draw, would it have been metabolized out of my system?
Did you find out?
No, I don't drink and drive.
Oh, well, I thought you tested it with like.
We tested with the breathalyzer. Breathalyzer. We tested it with the breathalyzer, but
drink.
we tested it with the breathalyzer. But I'm talking about like when and I only know this because my wife used to work in a DUI like rehabilitation school thing, or whatever. They do blood draw because that holds up stronger in court than the accuracy of a breathalyzer in the field.
Yeah, because those machines are super. Wishy-washy.
Yeah, that's why I'm just saying. I'm wondering if it would like metabolize out enough to be like, oh, it's back to normal. You know?
Yeah, I thought you would test it with breathalyzer, like drink and then wait however long you think it would take you to jail.
No, the crazy part is, as fast as I drink it, you know, a drunk person has a smell. Right?
Yeah.
You're just like, whoa, you're drunk, dude.
Yeah, because they're sweating it because it's already.
But that happens to me too.
Yeah.
In the first, like, if I took like, let's say you poured me a 3-finger whiskey.
Yeah, and then you
Glug,
just
glug, glug, glug. Dude, within 2 minutes, I'd be like, oh, the room is spinning, and I'd be like, and I always used to do this to my wife.
Yeah, remember
anytime I'm drunk, I do this to my wife. I go, would you pull me over? And she's always like, oh god, you're so drunk. Like she's like, yep, you smell like a wino.
You did it for when ceramic coating.
Oh yeah.
You were like, wait, because we were joking about it. He was like, there's no way, and you're like, well, you got the whiskey, I'll watch.
Yeah, I think that's why.
proceeded to watch Jay get drunk and then sober up within probably 30 minutes.
Yeah,
if that. It was ridiculous.
I'm a cheap date.
Meanwhile, I hadn't even finished my drink by the time you were already sober again. It was
Everyone's saying Jay get drunk. Well, that's potentially the idea tonight. I'm going to live stream some more Phasmophobia, but I'm going to be playing with subscribers because these guys don't want to play. So I
wish I was going to be there for Saturday, but
it doesn't have to be Saturday. I just asked if you guys wanted to, but we still
we can
have.
do it on Sunday.
I'm down. We
You
maybe
do
during
VR? Should we both do it VR?
Oh, VR drinking probably not good.
Oh, you're right. Well, okay, let's just do like 1 or 2 rounds in. Oh, but then you have to reconfigure everything.
What I started to say is, I did promise our audience that you and I would play in VR at some point.
Yeah.
But no, I mean I'm down for Sunday.
You promised that I would play?
No, that both of us, because you and I had already talked about we would do it in VR.
Yeah, I know. I was sort of joking.
No,
but sure.
we'll
Okay,
do it.
fine. Yeah.
Dude, if I'm gonna be,
yeah, if you're gonna do it,
if
then
I'm
I'll
gonna
do
get
it.
the pee scared out of me, so are you.
Yeah. Also, yeah.
Because I feel like in VR,
and we can't we can't have a you and Luke situation where we both run into each other.
Well, we're not in the same room.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I can't believe you guys didn't break that VR system. You guys.
Yeah, Luke from Linus Tech Tips and I, we did the Void in Vegas once during CES, and we did the scary one because they had the haunted one.
Yeah, it was like a turn of the century weird kind of magic.
Yeah, you're
showy
investigating
kind of
a haunted fair.
Oh yeah, like the World
like
Fair
a world, like a county fair kind of a thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And anyway, something jump scared me, and I took off running like in habit. And now the void, if you guys don't understand, it's full scale, not room scale, full scale.
Yeah.
So if there's a bar,
Like
there's a room, there's a doorway.
Corners, there's physical props.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
untethered VR. You're walking around through doorways and stuff, and they have a Star Wars one, they have a Wreck-It Ralph, they have a whole bunch of ones, right? But this happened to be a horror one, and of course, Phil and my wife were like, nope, we're out. So just Luke and I went and did it.
Yeah, there's this thing called Fat Tuesdays that sounded more appealing because I wanted a yard of alcohol.
Yo,
Just say a meter. It's close enough, and more people will get it.
A meter of alcohol.
My first
How is that a
experience
measurement of
with
alcohol?
My first experience with Fat Tuesdays was when I went to SEMA, and we got one on the first day before
Wait,
we
like
even
this
hit
year or last year?
2019
2019?
before lockdown.
Are you 22?
No,
No, he's 30.
I know, but how have you not had Fat Tuesdays since?
Oh.
Like,
I
what?
don't-
Because he didn't go to Vegas very
I
much.
don't go often.
You're right.
But what
Yeah,
I
me
was
and my
saying
friends
about
used to
the
go every
void
year.
is there was a thing that scared me. And now the thing that's cool about the void's the horror VR, it's personalized.
Yeah, each person gets a
So
different...
I looked into a mirror and I'm like, hey, look, you can see a reflection. Hi. And the thing was like, blah. I was like, "Ah," like, I threw myself back. I was like, whoa, S word.
Yeah.
I cuss a lot when I get jump scared. Like, yo, like that with you. Like, oh, F, right? So anyway, it scared me. And Luke, from his perspective, just sees me go, oh, look up here. I'm like running backwards. He's like, he goes, what the hell? And he's looking at me. I'm like, you didn't hear that? He's like, hear what? I'm like, you didn't see the face or hear the scream? And he's like, no. He's like, but I'm not looking at any mirrors now. So then a few minutes later, I hear him like, whoa. Like, I'm like, what happened? He's like, there was a thing right there. I'm like, I didn't see it. There was a thing that scared me, and there was a partition wall between us, like a whiteboard kind of a thing. And it scared me, and I took off running, which they say not to do.
This is why you don't run in VR in the void.
Because it scared him too, and we were running at each other. Now, the void, although good, has a slight amount of latency between the movement of the other players. So
Yeah. Player sync is basically like, it's like playing with like 150 ping.
Yes.
Like it's not enough to ruin the experience, but like you can't do anything quickly. Otherwise you're just gonna punch each other in the face.
Yeah, and when you get jump scared and you take off running, 150 milliseconds is a long time.
Yeah, especially with your like 10-foot long stride.
Now Luke and I are very similar in size and stature. I probably have 20 pounds on him, but he's just as tall as me. He's just as like bulky as me. And he played lacrosse. I played American football. So, I mean, we both know how to throw our weight into something. We both turned the corner and we're running, and we were leaning forward, and you just feel headset hit, chest hit, stomach hit. We were like, bah!
So you guys like body rolled to like distribute the force?
Yes. And all you hear is, oh, crap. And then we're like, oh, like...
Basically, all you guys told me at the moment was after we, when we were like, how was it? You're like, we ran into each other. Like, that was all that me and your wife got. That was the whole story. I was already dying laughing, imagining that. And Luke was like, dude, we hit each other hard.
Yeah.
I was like,
both of us ran into an object that wasn't there in our view. So that was also
so
what was
basically, you
terrifying.
saw his body probably like 10 feet in the virtual world behind where he was.
Well, no, I never saw it appear because I guess I was kind of looking down a little bit. And then when it hit head, it was like, pff, my view was the sky. And I looked down and then Luke's there.
See, that's the one thing about Phasmophobia. You can phase through other people. You can't do that in real life.
Yeah. But anyway.
I was genuinely surprised that not the headset or the computer or any of the haptic feedback vests or any of that hardware
Nothing
was
glitched.
broken.
But what was funny
Wow,
about
it
that?
didn't even glitch?
No.
It didn't even drop
But
a-
here's what was funny about that. There's a chaperone with you, like kind of walking around behind you. Because if something's wrong, like you could be like, my volume's too low, and you'll feel a hand touch your headset. You're like, what the heck? Like they'll turn it up, right?
They're literally always shadowing.
So
you
we
all
just
the
hear, and I hear in the corner like, I hear him laughing.
time. You heard your chaperone.
Yeah, he was like,
that's funny.
oh yeah. So don't run in VR.
If there was ever a way that I wish we could get the security footage and not like the picture that you take at the end,
You would just see the night vision, like.
yeah, just dude, just straight into each other.
What's funny about that is he and I both like, because you could see it was hand tracking.
Yeah.
So you could see like us walking around like.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done the Void a few times after that, but not the scary one. But
the Star Wars one is so good. It's just so
because even when you go into Mustafar,
it's a giant rooster.
It's a rooster, but it's far away. Yeah. When you go to Mustafar, you feel the heat. They have like heat lamps and stuff.
Yeah, they have. It's basically heat guns,
and it sucks because you're like, oh look, you really feel the heat, and a minute later you're sweating. You're like, oh, you can feel the heat. It's like, ew, you're sweating in this thing.
Yeah, and I'm already fat, so I was like already sweating, and then the door opens, and it's like, oh yeah, we're almost. Ah!
You've done the Void, right? What?
No.
And all the times
I'm
we've
surprised.
went.
We gotta go.
I think we talked about
working with you guys when you went.
Oh, you were still friends.
Yeah.
I think we planned on doing it a bunch, but then pandemic happened, and sharing headsets and all that was probably not the
kind of gross.
The smart thing. Yeah.
I mean, actually, like, I think I broke out like a little bit on my forehead the first time I did it.
I always break out there just because the foam is kind of scratchy.
Well, and also like
they replace the foam and they swab it all out and alcohol wipes and everything, but still.
I expect it. You know what I mean? It's like you're sharing a face mask with somebody.
Yeah, there's only so clean wipes can get something.
Without like removing the entire top layer,
replacing the whole foam.
Yeah, I am genuinely afraid of the idea of Phasmophobia in VR. Which is why I'm willing to do it with you.
Yeah, because I tried it. I tried it testing it out, and I couldn't get my microphone to work because it was the weird communication.
All I heard was this, like, okay, I'm gonna put on a headset now. Whoa, this is way scarier. And we're literally in the mission planning room, like not even in the truck or anything yet.
Before I even joined the room, I ran through the tutorial, and I was already scared. Like just the first hallway, and it's like. I open the house opens or whatever, and I have the flashlight. I'm just like, I shine the flashlight and see the tiny little circle it makes.
The TV's already on, so it's a weird glow.
I'm like, crap. This is really bad. And then I kind of forced myself to go through it more, but like the more I looked around and like my brain was starting to accept that yes, I was in the Phasmo house. I was just like, all right, I need out.
But the Phasmo house looks a lot smaller in VR though, huh? Like the distances and stuff.
It seemed about the same.
The first time you turn and the ghost decides to in front of you, that's gonna suck.
Yeah, I mean the scale wasn't weird, but I think it's because I've played so much VR that I'm used to when I see an image on a 2D screen, I kind of already can imagine it.
You have
a
depth
look like,
imagination
and scale imagination. That's the one thing that VR, if you're not playing VR often. Is like that's the one thing that gets you. Yeah. So yeah, the scale of you're right. The scale, like remember the ghost that Insum was playing and it was like freaking 10 feet tall.
Yeah, that's
gonna be scary when you're like looking up at it.
What's funny is apparently though the characters I play are gonna be tippy-toeing because they're based off the heights they're set at. Yeah, that's why your character was crouching everywhere it went.
Yeah, because I'm 5'2", and they apparently didn't account for people that would be my height.
And my height at 6'4" apparently is like walking around on tippy toes everywhere it goes.
It's gonna be. We're gonna look like the jankiest like team.
I feel like Renee would be like the only one that's like the right height. It's like a 5'10".
How tall is he? 5'10". Oh,
it's like a 5'10" kind of a ghost.
Isn't that like average? That's like smack dab average male, right? Is like 5'10".
I think like 5'10" to 5'11".
Yeah.
I'll never forget the time I asked you how tall you were, and you said 5'12".
I'm like 5'11" 3/4.
Do you have 256 megs of RAM, dude?
I wish.
5'12". Okay. All right.
5'12".
That was actually we carried for an hour, just our own brains, guys.
Jeez.
I wanted to have a deeper discussion about ADHD, but I think we proved it.
We could touch on that again. I mean, that's like
if somebody drew a flow chart, and everywhere it branched off and broke. In this conversation, that would be.
It would look like the rapids, dude.
It's like the drop-down menus on drop-down menus.
Dead ends.
Drop-down menus.
Many dead ends. The flow reverses for a bit.
Like I can't even. Yeah, no, I wouldn't even want to do that. Well, what were you gonna go into with ADHD?
No, I was just gonna talk about how much ADHD kind of plays into hobby selection and how long you stick with it, and how long before the ADHD honeymoon period wears off.
Yeah, well, like the thing I was getting to when we were talking about this offline was that like I learned to love diving fully in with like full ADHD hyper focus on one thing, and even if that thing turns out crappy and I never use it again, or I never use the skill, or I never actually get good at it, that was one of the hardest things for me to learn, was to accept that like, hey, it was fun though, at least.
Yeah.
But like, because there's so many times where like we were joking, it's just like, oh well, I'm not good at it, so it sucks. And like that's so easy to fall into when you have that kind of mindset of like, you know what I mean? That was a lot of the reason why I never really did good at math. in school because I was just like, well, math is stupid because it's hard.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I loved physics. I loved everything about science, and everyone was like, how do you like physics and not math? And I'm like, because physics is math, but
more
applied.
practical. Yeah.
It's like, I don't care about arbitrary numbers, but I care about like when something is going X speed and you need
when
to
a number is an explanation as to a y, then it becomes fun.
And also, for my brain at least, it becomes easy to understand because I can think in terms of physics, obviously drone flying, right? That's all that is physics, right? Applied physics. But I can think in terms of physicality a lot more easily than just abstract math and letters and X and Y and, you know, parentheses and crap. Like, yeah, that was always really hard.
Well, I've never tried to learn a new skill really in my adult life. That's why, like,
besides
guitar.
No, that's what I was getting at.
Oh, okay.
I had never decided I'm going to learn something new.
Yeah.
I just really believed in the whole, like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks kind of a thing, right?
And I would argue, honestly, you're FPV flying.
No,
too,
here's
even
the thing.
though you haven't flown in forever, but yeah.
My oldest dog, he's 11 years old.
Yeah.
And I always said, like, well, he was a rescue.
Dang, he's almost as old as Nick. No, I'm kidding.
Mental age. The look on his face right now.
Why?
Betrayal.
He said why.
Bill.
He said why. Okay, so Max is 11 years old. And when we got him, he was a rescue. He already was not a very smart dog. He can't even walk right? He's literally the most goober dog.
That's not his fault.
It's not his fault. His back legs are twice as long as his front legs.
He's too rear biased.
But he drifts every corner. It's cool.
You gotta adjust the center diff, dude.
But the thing is, like, I've tried to teach him in the past, like so many times, like, and he won't learn anything. But then after we got Zuri and we started training Zuri, I noticed Max was like, "Hey, I could do things too." So he's learned a few basic tricks, and I'm like, "Well, that adage doesn't hold up. You can definitely teach an old dog new tricks." And that's when I was like, "I want to learn guitar." Yeah, at the time I was like, I'm 39 years old.
Wait, so you're saying Max inspired you?
A little bit.
That's awesome.
Well, because the saying is always, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And my old dog taught me I was wrong. Right? So
that's the best trick he's ever learned.
Yeah. So anyway, I got the guitar last year, at the beginning of the pandemic. I started learning through like some of the Paul David stuff. But the problem with learning online without anyone correcting you is no one's correcting you. And so I just went, well, my daughter's been taking guitar lessons for a couple of years, and when her in-person instruction starts up again, this was during the pandemic, I said I will ask him if he'll take me on as a student. He usually only teaches youth, right?
Okay.
And so it's one of those like,
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he usually only teaches youth, and so he took me on as a student, and then he realized like from day one, he's like, oh, okay, you kind of get it. And I told him I'd learned some things. He corrected some things I was doing wrong. But then he was just like,
great,
yeah, he was like, you're fun to teach because just like my daughter, he's like, you get it quick. And that's the ADHD side of me, because here's the problem. He's like, bro, you need to take a break. You have to rest your hand. And I'm just like, no, I could do this. And then I'm like, my playing is degrading because my fingers are so bruised and so calloused and just painful.
Well, and you kind of screwed yourself too, because you got that shiny new guitar.
Yeah, I went out and bought a Martin GSC 13D.
No, but it's like the thing, like he brought it into work and he was like, listen how good it sounds. And all of us are like, dude, it sounds awesome. And then it makes him want to play more. But then he's like, my fingers are bleeding already, you know?
Yeah, I need to take a break. So I'm gonna end up taking in to get to get it set up, because it's not set up. It's out of the box, and the neck's a little bit twisted, and the action height's a little wrong, and every guitar needs to be set up, right?
It's just you care a lot more when it's a nice guitar.
All they do when they make it is they get it close enough, but every person has a little bit different preference, and they always set the action height too high. That way you can bring it down, and you can't bring the action height back up as easily as you can bring it down, so it always starts off too high. And as a beginner player like myself, that takes a lot of finger strength to hold it down, but the strings are also so hard on that guitar that it's just digging into me. My fingertips are like hard as can be, but the soft tissue is all bruised. Everything hurts. But the problem is
you have to let those calluses and stuff like form.
Well, the calluses are there, but the fingertips, like from like that much of my fingertip,
the support part behind
all the soft tissue is just hurting. Right. And so it's one of those things where like my guitar teacher is like, you have to take a break. You have to rest your hands. Yeah. And then I told him yesterday I was going to take a few days off.
Like, imagine if you lifted every day without stopping the same muscle group.
Well, and that's the thing is you can carpal tunnel, tendon issues, all that stuff can come up with the guitar. And the problem is beginner players.
Your left elbow tendon is already giving you trouble, right?
Beginning players oftentimes have bad posture, they have bad ergonomics, and the longer you play like that, the more injury and the more injury prone you are.
Yeah.
Like, because when you're a beginner, you're trying to look at the strings and you're like wrapping your head around the guitar to look down. That's all bad posture. That's why I showed you earlier, like, look, I can play without looking at the strings and stuff, which is great.
It took me forever on the cello to stop doing this. Like, it's like, there's no frets anyway. What are you looking at, Phil?
But, well, you're probably looking at where your finger position is, like,
I was looking at when I still
string.
had the beginner tapes that told you where your finger positions are.
Someone said it looks like the action height in your guitar is too high. I just said that. Every guitar comes with action height too high. But the point is, like, my luthier right now isn't taking on any work until mid next week. So my Fender is set up. And as soon as my Fender became set up, dude, that's when I accelerated, because I was no longer fighting buzzing or ringing strings and stuff, because it wasn't. I didn't know what was me and what was the guitar. But when the Martin is set up,
that's always the hardest part when you're starting out, right? It's just like, do I suck or does this hardware suck?
Yeah,
it's really easy to fall in the trap of just buy more expensive hardware and you'll play better. And it's like, that's, you know.
If anything, the more expensive hardware might come needing set up more than something cheaper.
Yeah, and it also, because it sounds so good when you play it correctly, it emphasizes your mistakes more.
But that's why I spent like $150 today on hydration devices that you put in the guitar to keep it hydrated. That way it's not dried out and stuff. The Fender, they don't even, it's just like, it's a Fender. They, right?
You get another one Walmart, who cares?
But with the Martin, there was like very strict instructions about keeping it 45 to 55% humidity, or it can crack and big problems happen. But what I was trying to get at,
rental cello. I was just like, I saw the instructions, like, don't need this anymore. It's a rental. Who cares?
But what I was getting at is, I feel like every time I post a video about my progress, everyone's just like, wow, you're picking it up so fast. But I'm probably spending 25 hours a week practicing.
This is the same with me in flying. Like, I get a lot of comments that are like, dude, how did you get that good in a month? And I'm like, because I've flown pretty much 5 days a week.
Yeah. But
like, for that entire month.
But there is a such thing as too much practice.
Yeah.
And but the problem is my hand and my coordination give out before my desire to practice gives out. Which sucks, because I just wish my hands just didn't have the pain, because I could play, but it's fine. But the ADHD has definitely allowed me to use what would, like, back more. See, when I was born in the 80s, and ADHD was a bad thing then. Oh, your kid has ADHD, give him Ritalin to calm him down, and that's what people did. And they would suppress it by suppressing the entire personality, and then they teach nothing other than chemical dependency at that point. But the fact that people like me now that were born, and I was born in 81, and my wife was also born in 81. And are now like learned how to embrace and use it as a tool. I've been able to teach, like, I've only been playing since June 8th on that guitar. Yeah. And I go, dang it, I get mad. I'm like, I should be better than this by now. And then I film myself every time I practice. Like, if you saw the video tab, it's just guitar, everywhere guitar. Because I film every single time I start.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I should be better than this. And I go back and I look at something that's just 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, holy cow. Like, I've been playing the crap out of Pink Floyd, and even you're like, I hear that song in my head. But it's like, the very first time I played it, it's like, bang, ding, bang, doo, doo, pink. So it's like, that was only 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. I take it back, 2 weeks ago.
It's crazy, right? Like,
yeah. But then I went,
insane.
But then I went, can I still play Hotel California? And I go back to it, I'm like, oh yeah, I can. I remembered. So I'm about to change the song again, because in my head I'm walking around going,
all like, three of us are now.
I wake up hearing it, and it sucks. But anyway, the discussion I wanted to get at was that ADHD, for anyone out there that's like maybe looking at that as potentially a bad thing, especially if you're an adult, can be a very strong tool in making you, I guess, better at something, you know?
It's almost like...
It went from disability to enhancement in my mind.
Yeah, it's like somebody else...
It's like X-Men.
It's like somebody else has the gas pedal.
I am big brain man.
It's like you're on a racetrack and somebody else has the gas pedal. It's like, yeah, I mean, you know, it's like sometimes it's like, go on, can you hit go? We're freaking at the start, you know, at the straight, right? But it's like also, what happens if you apply too much gas in a turn? It's like, then you can learn to control that. You can learn to recover from that sort of unexpected stuff. And I think it's like kind of the same thing, at least for me with ADD, where it's like, you know, like you said, awareness is kind of the first step, because you have to know when you're in that, like, you know, when it's actually really making you hyper focus on something. And it's like, okay, cool. Is this thing going to be productive in the long run? If there is something that is genuinely more important, then I will force myself. As much as my brain hates it, you know, I'll force myself to, like, because there's lots of times where I'm like knee deep in Betaflight configuring on the thing, and it's like, oh crap, it's 8:37 a.m. I need to go to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, but I can spend another 7 minutes to figure this out, but then I'll be late to work. So you have to stop it. So yeah, there's like you said, it's kind of like less of like a stop being ADD and more of like a let's redirect this to like something productive, Or
yeah, well, it's kind of that old adage, right? Small degrees of change up close lead to big changes over time, over distance, exactly. Right? So it's just about giving these little nudges into a direction.
Like a boat, right? Like 1 degree off on the
or
heading.
Or a plane.
yeah, exactly. 1 degree off on the heading. 500 miles that way. Now, how far are you?
Yeah, you're probably 500 miles too far to the right or
you're
left.
Not to see the island, exactly.
All right, we're going to move to the what is it again? FTFA. That's right, from the freaking audience.
Read the freaking audience.
Did I say RTFA?
No.
I said FTFM.
Yeah,
the first
from
time.
The freaking manual, and I told him to read the freaking audience.
All right, so this one's from Ricardo. It could be potentially a longer answer. Hopefully not. I think I have a very simple formula that worked for me. He says, "My name is Ricardo, and I'm from Portugal. Unfortunately, I'm in trouble. There's some translation stuff here I've got to kind of do.
English
live.
Isn't this guy's first language.
No, he apologizes, which is fine.
Yeah. No, and it was awesome. It was just typos. Dude.
He says, unfortunately, I'm in trouble due to poor management of money, credit cards. My question is, can you explain in more detail how did you pay your debt, or at least point me in the right direction? Love the show and everything you do. Apologies for my English. His English was perfectly fine. So I was in major debt when I started this channel, and 11 maxed out credit cards. We had medical bills, owed everyone we knew money, friends, family. Like, people wouldn't answer the phone if I called them for anything unrelated because they were just like, he's going to ask for money again, right? So I didn't like the way that was. So we had ended up going through a Dave Ramsey course called Financial Peace University, which was offered through our church, but it taught very, very common sense, no nonsense approaches on how to treat money, like the order of events that things should happen. So without like necessarily coming out and endorsing that, it's what started my change of the money mindset. Now, people have said, well, yeah, it was easy for you to get out of debt because your channel makes all kinds of money. No, when I started this and got out of debt, my channel was bringing in anywhere between an extra $100 to $300 a month. Okay, and that's not enough.
That's about right for AdSense back then.
Yeah, and that's not enough to like live off, obviously, but it was enough for me to use that as a jump start to the get out of debt program. So what I would recommend at this point is the debt snowball, which is basically, there's this common misconception that you need to pay off your highest balance card first because of the interest, but that's not true. You want to pay off your lowest balance card first because you can take the payments you're paying on that card along with any extra money that so you have to save, you have to stop eating out, you have to stop spending anything on like Steam games or computer parts. You have to stop all that first and foremost. Secondly, you have to take any extra income that you can generate throughout the month or the money you save throughout the month and apply all of that, as well as the minimum payment on that credit card you're trying to pay off, on the lowest balance card. What you then do is you take all that money plus that monthly payment you're paying on that card when it's paid off, and paid off as fast as you can. You then take all that money plus that minimum payment and pay it on the next lowest card. And you just continue to snowball the money from each of those cards that you're using. So if you had, let's say, $200 extra a month and $25 a month on your lowest balance card, that's $225 a month you can spend on reducing that balance. Let's say it's a $500 card. So you should have paid off in 2 months, right? $1,000 card, 4 months. Pay the minimums on everything else. It's fine. The interest rate sucks. We know it, but pay it. Then what you do is when you have that $225 and that card paid off, now you're paying $225 plus whatever the minimum is on that next highest balance card. So now you're paying potentially $250 or $275 or whatever it is. And as you go up the highest balance cards, those minimum payment numbers are higher as well because they're based off the balance. So by the time you get to your highest card, you're making anywhere a couple $100, $300, $400, $500 payments on that card, and it's gone. We were able to get out of our credit card debt in just under a year by using that method. Now, it's an extremely disciplined practice. You have to budget.
I bet. That must have been a really tight year.
Yeah. Especially since I had a YouTube channel I was running. And I had parts I wanted to buy because I had no sponsors really at the time.
Did you buy did you ever LPE6 or food? That's basically.
No, see, I had a budget. Because the other half of this I was about to say is budget. You have to budget every dollar because any money that isn't assigned to something, whether it be emergency fund, savings, whatever, it gets spent. It gets spent through frivolous stuff. So you have to balance your budget to zero. And then you need to be diligent about paying off that debt. That's how I got out of credit card debt. And then what happened is once I had like, hey, here's $1,500 extra a month. I'm not paying on credit card bills. Let's pay off the medical debt. I did that. Let's pay off the car. We did that. Right. And then at the end of that, I go, wow, it's a lot easier to make it paycheck to paycheck now when I'm not spending over $1,000 a month on debt.
So it's almost like you just started just knocking out every chain that was keeping you from being financially freedom.
Hold on. Anthony Ruiz says, I want to hear that debt-free scream. You can't hear it until my house is paid off, which, by the way, we bought in 2019, and we are over 50% paid off in 2 years. So you can hear the debt-free scream in about 2 more years. No, Dave Ramsey has a thing where he allows you to, you can call in.
Oh,
and you can actually let out a
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
but
cool.
I cannot do it in good conscience because
you should call in and do it
when the house is paid off.
Yeah.
But when the house is paid off, I've already with our financial planning and our financial planner, I've already said I want to buy a commercial building, so I'm going to go right into commercial debt.
Well, you got to do the screen in between.
Yeah, in between.
Yeah.
After you pay off the house and before we buy GTC HQ.
However, I can tell you right now, going into commercial debt to buy a commercial building is the start of another business. So that's a good expense.
Right, because now
I can sublet
you're a
space.
landowner, right?
Yes, but if I get a building that has multiple units or something, I can sublet the rest out and pay my corporate mortgage on the building through their rent.
It's going to be like Packing House, except Jay.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Jacking House.
Whoa, that's a different type of business, my friend.
Income's income, dude.
I believe you have to go to Singapore for that kind of business.
Oh, jeez.
Or
shoot you just for that.
or Amsterdam, that right there, red light district.
Amsterdam's a little bit, yeah.
Oh, this is loaded. Don't worry.
All right.
Don't worry about it. You're safe.
Someone in chat said I can confirm that snowball works. It does. There's nothing mathematically wrong about it.
Jacking you.
Sure. All right.
Jay's Packing House.
Is it Kahu?
Yeah, that's why it's the Jacking House.
Kahu says, Dear Jay and team, love the content all the way from New Zealand. My question to you guys is, what is one thing that you've always wanted to make or create to fix a problem? I've heard you guys talk about 3D printing and highly recommend it. I am a creator myself. I find it amazing to take an idea and make it a reality. You guys inspired me to build my first computer and upgrade over a 2011 MacBook Air. I hope this question seals the deal on purchasing a printer.
We have a test printer now that's in my house. That,
we do have 3D printers that's coming here. We do have one. I just haven't gone to get it yet because I need to get it for the other project, which you guys don't know about yet. Something huge that we are working on for the community.
That's gonna be sick.
It will probably be the biggest thing I think anyone in the tech space has done for something not themselves. And I know that sounds it's a very big
self-serving.
No, not self-serving.
Okay.
It's a very big to come out and say we've done something more unselfish than anyone else has, but the purpose and the cause at which we're doing this is going to absolutely benefit anybody in Southern California.
I'm really excited to be able to showcase that.
Moving forward, 3D printing is a neat problem solver, but for me, I think it would be like an OBD2 type system for computers. It literally tells you what's wrong.
Oh, yeah, like an actual diagnostic tool that
We're
works.
getting closer with Q codes, and they're becoming more of a standard with those. But Q codes is just I don't know, GPU didn't respond, But maybe if some sort of scanning tool was able to actually tell you physically, specifically what is wrong.
Yeah. And you're right. There's so many almost things like that. Like the performance monitoring.
Code screens on the
the
motors.
performance monitoring software in Windows. It'll tell you the reason the last time any app crashed on the system. You can go look that up and everything. It saves it all in a log. But it's I want that, but for everything. Hey, the GPU, instead of just GPU driver restarted, it's I want to know it was throttling on the core before it restarted, or your memory got really hot and then it crashed. That sort of diagnostic stuff would be so awesome because then you would know.
I know this is a little bit self-serving in a way, but I saw someone in chat go by and be like, he's probably just saying he's out of debt. I'm going to go ahead and log in here real quick, and Phil, I'll let you read out.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I'll let you read out yes, I'm bragging a little bit. I'm proud of this. Look, the American dream is being in debt, okay?
Yeah.
America is all about debt. Don't read out the score or anything else, but what does the credit usage say right there?
It's weird. It says 96%. No, okay.
That was the old me.
It says 0%.
There we go.
0% for sure.
And what number, what letter, or what color is that number? Oh, Jesus, sorry. Phil, Nick?
The colorblind guy, and it's in between.
It is a green 0.
There we go. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a green 0 right there.
Oh, Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, it's green. They look black.
Yeah, it looked black. Yeah.
Thank you. 0% credit usage. And you know what? That hurts your credit.
yeah. You, literally today, right? You were like, why did my...
What is the minimum credit usage though? What, like 12%?
No,
anything.
Anything under 25% is considered good.
Oh, okay.
But 0% is considered bad because they want to see revolving. Now here's the thing. Dave Ramsey would be like, wow, he sure likes debt. The fact that he even has credit cards. But my situation and the one that Dave Ramsey teaches are very different. I'm a business owner and I want to buy a commercial building. And one of the things they're highly going to scrutinize is my personal finances. So I have to have a credit score, which is very good. And I have to have credit history and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But having a zero balance brings your score down. But, whatever.
Because it's just like, well, why would we trust him with money? He's not using it.
Well, yeah, yesterday I was like, I need to use my credit card as much as I don't want to. What am I going to do? I gifted $500 worth of tier 2 subs to Insim yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was like freaking out over that because I like Insim. He's entertaining to me. So I put that on my credit card.
I don't use that. That was that.
my private Learjet card.
Your private Learjet card.
The inside joke.
Oh my gosh.
But I can literally order a jet. So
yeah, that was still the funniest thing.
You heard that phone call, right? Yeah, I just want to get a quote on a private jet from yada yada.
No, but like the day you unboxed it, like Mark was over because we were building the game.
Oh, I don't have my wallet. Go get my wallet.
Really?
Give me my wallet, please.
Oh boy.
I just want him to hear it.
Yeah. Wait, yeah,
it is the most overkill, stupid thing.
He'd come over because it was right before the pandemic got into full swing.
It came in a leather box.
Yeah.
With like walnut.
Because Mark was over to see the game room, right? Just to hang out or whatever. And then, it was a leather box. And then you're like in like basketball shorts and like the raggedy tee. And you're just like reading out the benefits. And it's like, why is there a Learjet on the cover of the box?
Because I can call that jet.
It was literally just because, Jake could call a Learjet if he really wanted to. It's so...
First of all, without showing any numbers, it is a black card, which I'm not proud of, but they sent it, and it's made of. Oops. I think titanium.
It's yours now, Nick. Finders keeper.
I think it's made out of titanium.
You know what the funny thing is? That still doesn't get you closer to 3090 today.
No.
Like it's
Wait, you could try.
Yeah, well, I mean.
Oh, I could call the concierge and be like, find me a 3090. Click.
Yeah, it'd be the most expensive 3090 you've ever.
I don't even care about it. It's just I was like to do this commercial purchase that I want to do in a few years. They have to see the entire financial outlay. Whoa, are we boyfriend and boyfriend now? Okay, sorry.
Hard pass, sorry.
That probably looked really bad on camera because I'm like, I was scratching my knee, guys.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice knee, though. Your knee was nice. I accidentally scratched his knee. I'm sorry.
Welcome to the jacking house.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. We didn't get to hardly any of these. Okay, let me go to the next one here.
Yeah.
ADD. What's your like?
What's my what?
Your better tool. Your make or creative. Something you'd make or create. Something.
Your better tool, make or create.
Yes. Right here. He said, "What would you make or create to fix a problem?"
I'm still doing that right now. I'm making the skids for my drone.
The ones that don't explode?
Yeah, the ones that don't explode on the first landing.
I don't know. I mean, because I've just been printing stuff for Nick to fix problems.
I think an OBD2 scanner type tool that you plug into your computer and can report back everything that's wrong.
Okay, this is just in general, not just 3D printing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. A voice assistant that like actually is fast.
And accurate.
Accurate and quick. Yeah. Like,
I am a little sketched out how well Google learns accents and speech impediments, though. Because my youngest had a speech impediment for a long time, which she doesn't really anymore, but she got so frustrated with Google in our home because it never understood her, and she would get all mad and stuff, but it totally learned the way she talks. We're teaching it. It's going to happen.
What?
The Matrix.
Oh, well, I mean, it's already happening.
That's true. We are living in a simulation, don't forget.
Yeah, there's no aliens, right? So.
All right. Do you have something you would make or create, like to be a problem-solving tool?
I don't know. I'm very much throw hammers at it or take a hammer to it until it fixes
I have
itself.
never seen you break something out of anger.
Not yet. It hasn't happened yet.
It sounds like a
That's why I don't believe you when you're like, I'm just throw a hammer at it approach.
Yeah, but you also didn't believe me until I did it.
Yeah.
So.
Because you said that was the first, and I can count. Many times I broke stuff.
I mean, there are walls that I have technically broken.
I've only put I think 2 holes in a wall.
I get angry, but I'm not gonna break it because that's only gonna make my problem worse.
Nick, the most anger I've ever seen out of you is like, I swear to God, it's not a bad thing. It's just
Like
you're so internalized. I've never
that's the
seen
difference.
it.
I think that's the difference between rage and anger, because anger, you can still think that thought you just said, which is, oh, it's gonna make my problem worse. When you're raging, that isn't even in your brain.
Yeah.
Like, your brain does not care. I just have a controller and I want it to become dust right now.
If anger was an EMF detector in Phasmophobia, you're only a 3 ghost.
Whatever, dude.
At most, I think. Yeah, I think
I can still slam doors.
Secret cat. I'm always a 3 ghost. You still think you can slam a door? That you said?
I'll still slam doors as an angry ghost. Like, that's cool.
I feel like I'm
I
always...
thought you meant in real life, like you slam doors.
I feel like I'm always at a 4, but I spend about 30 to 40% of my energy bringing it to a 0 so I can function.
Were you allowed to be angry as a kid? Like, were you allowed to show anger? Like you're in your upbringing. Can you remember a time when you were told like you can't be mad?
Yes-ish. Well, the thing is, I always got in trouble even if it wasn't my fault.
You had a younger sister that
when she did things, I got yelled at for it.
Yeah, because you're older, right?
She just had to say my name, and anywhere I would be in trouble.
She would hit you. Nick! Nick!
Yeah.
Mom! Nick, stop hitting your sister!
Basically, so I kind of grew up with the everything's a losing fight, like at least in the family. So I just internalize it. I just take the hit and I go about my business.
And that's how you end up going on a raging spree.
Well, it hasn't happened yet, so we'll see.
Well, yet's a scary word. I think you should find an outlet. I mean, no, wrong, too soon.
It's stress relieving.
No.
You're not
No.
Shooting your boss is stress relief?
No.
That's the only thing that calms Nick down.
Yo, we should play paintball again.
No.
Why?
Too much moving involved.
Why do you think I've only done it once? I was like, this was cool. Let's never do it again. Okay, to be fair, it was in Seattle and like it was muddy as crap, and so like I felt like I was spending half my energy just not slipping and cracking my ankles open.
Just try to stay balanced.
Oh my gosh, and then I tried to dive behind cover and I just basically dove straight headfirst into a wall, and it was great. I was like, paintball, yeah.
I didn't mind playing. See, I met Nick through paintball, and I didn't mind when we went and played airball and stuff. But the problem was I would get really bad migraines because I have, like I told you before, I have very sensitive hearing. Mm-hmm. Screaming into the mask and hearing it reverb back in my ears just would give me the worst headaches. And so I was a back player. I had to scream the loudest most of the time. So it sucked. But what else sucks is that this show is coming to an end today. That's all for episode 16. How'd you guys like the off-the-cuff sort of a format? We literally just turned on the mics and went. We had nothing in here except for 6 Ask the Freaking Audience questions, which we didn't get to, so I'll leave them on the document for next week. But
I still think we should do the dominant hand one right now, real quick, before we.
If you broke your dominant hand and had to use a cast, what would be the hardest thing for you to do in daily life?
My job, my entire job.
Wow, I went way dirtier.
Well, that could technically be another job for you.
Or a new discovery.
Hey guys, I'm ambidextrous. I never knew. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this podcast, hit that like button, please, and we hope you guys are enjoying this. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget, tomorrow we have a video going live about another skunk corpse.
I just realized I'd be so screwed if I had my dominant hand. I couldn't drive to work. Manual transmission.
You can shift with your left hand.
I'm just ending the stream now on that one.
Also, driving isn't necessary for